The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has claimed victory in the country's third general election in under a year. You think we've got it bad in this country? After exit polls suggested a strong showing for his Likud party. However, it's unclear whether he will be able to secure a parliamentary majority as he prepares to go on trial for corruption charges in just a couple of weeks. James Sorene is the Chief Executive of BICOM, the British Israel Communications and Research Centre, and he joins us now. James, good to see you again. As of 9:09 this morning, we're not quite in a position to say what the end result of this latest round of Israeli elections actually is. What's your understanding of where we are?
Well, it's very clear that Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party they had the momentum in the final weeks of the campaign. It's clear they have the edge over their rivals, the Blue and White Party, and it looks like they will be very close to this magic 61-seat majority in the 120-seat Israeli parliament, and that's what's really important. But they may not actually get over the line. We'll get the results later on today, maybe even not until tomorrow morning. But they have the momentum. He's making all sorts of announcements about what government he wants to form. We could very much, though, end with another stalemate if they can't get to 61.
That was going to be my next question. Are we looking at, if there is no overall majority of Likud and its kind of right-wing allies, if they can't get past that majority barrier, I mean, are we going to be talking, you and I, 3 months down the line about the very same issues?
It is possible. I mean, you know, the viewers may not know, but this is the third election. So we had a similar situation in April last year where he could only get to 60. And he couldn't put together a government. And all the analysts were saying he's going to find a defector. He's going to get somebody from another party that he can coax over with some kind of ministerial job. He only needed one person to do that. And they didn't. Everyone held firm. So that could happen again. Or it could be that the results all get tallied and they actually even get to 61 once it's all sorted.
To what extent have these corruption charges hanging over Netanyahu? To what extent have they featured? I mean, many viewers will be surprised to hear this morning that whilst we're 2 weeks away from the trial, even if convicted at that first stage, he will remain as Prime Minister until the appeals process has been entirely exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got a proportional representation system, you basically have a larger number of parties. You have a coalition with at least 3 or 4. So the corruption investigations, it has mobilised the anti-Netanyahu vote, but his base and the people that just believe he is the best person for Israel, he's allowed the economy to boom, he's kept Israel safe and secure, there's not been any major conflict really since summer 2014, and his base basically are with him. And the story of the September election was where a lot of his base, or about 30,000 Likud voters, stayed at home. He's basically got them back. That's what this campaign was about.
And doing so whilst suggesting to the Palestinians that if he is Prime Minister for the foreseeable future, he will be annexing Jewish settlements in the Jordan Valley.
Well, he supported the Trump plan for Israel and the Palestinians, and within that there is an idea that the Israeli settlements will stay under Israeli control, and he has talked all the time, actually, since this first election campaign began back in December 2018. He's talked about this promise to apply Israeli sovereignty. Now, it's unclear if he's out of campaign mode and he's got a government, what is he actually going to do? Because really, since December 2018, it's all been about promises.
Let's just have a word on Benny Gantz and Blue and White. I mean, he has spoken in quite subdued terms, in fact, after the exit polls. Israel needs unity, it needs conciliation. I mean, what hope is there when the centre-left in Israel can't seem to make the breakthrough, whilst you've got a Prime Minister facing corruption charges, whilst you have continuing unrest in the Middle East?
Well, I mean, I think the story of Blue and White is, this is a third election, and if you were going to do a best of 4, there's been a draw. Benny Gantz was the leader of the largest party at the last election. Netanyahu might be, well, it looks like he's definitely going to be the leader of the largest party in this election. So he hasn't done badly, Gantz. He basically came out of nowhere, former army chief of staff. He has done extremely well, but I think what happened, and I think a lot of this is about attrition and about how bad do you want this. And Netanyahu, this is coursing through his veins, the need to run the country, the need to be Prime Minister, the need to seek political power. Whereas Gantz is new to this, and I think it was a lacklustre campaign, this last campaign. They didn't manage to create any momentum. They didn't really build on mistakes in the past. They probably thought they could just run the same campaign again, and they just didn't do enough. And I think that was clear quite early on.
Well, we await the rest of the results coming. James Sorene, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.